Hi all. In this episode of Total Pro Build from Balkan Shipyards, I'll show you how I got to this, and we're gonna make uckers and hatches. I'll show you the finished result, and then I'll show you how I made them. So yeah, here they are. They're painted with the glossy stuff, with the 2-pack acrylic, just because I wanted to use it up. And now we're gonna have to make some anti-skid paint. Have to make something so that they aren't slippery. And there's the deck. And I'll speak about that next episode. All the best. Balkan Shipyards. Hatches. MDO poplar ply 8mm. Standard poplar ply 4mm. And this is the way I do it. Very light. I'm pretty happy. At the moment it's all shot together with a nail gun. And yeah, you can see the nail holes. And basically shot together with a nail gun, glued up with PU glue, polyurethane. You can see it fluffing out of everywhere. Yeah, this one at the moment, I've just shot it together. So basically, pretty simple. Okay, so I get the shape of the boat onto that one, and I cut him out, and I do all these little cuts so it fits on. And then one of them, I space it away. I put in a piece of 6mm ply over here. You can see the gap over there, because over here is a 6mm piece of ply. And then I clamp on the piece flush with the surface, exactly flush. I put a lot of masking tape on all the corners. I clamp on the next one, the second one, the opposite one. I clamp it on straight onto the combing. 2 clamps flush with the surface. So I just put a straight edge over here and I lift it up, and then I clamp it on. I leave it running wild, these 2. Then between them, I get the short pieces in. This one is spaced away 6mm. The other one is flush up against the combing. And I put PU glue over here. I sanded away the MDO here and there. PU glue, bam bam, shot it together. Now I'm waiting for this to set. I put a clamp on like this. I put a clamp like that. I fix everything in place before I shoot it with the nail gun. And then I just shoot it with standard nails. There's the nail gun, nothing fancy. And then once this all dries up, and I can take away the clamps on the boat, I put the top on top, and bam 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 bam, I just shoot it in and finished. PU glue everywhere. So I put masking tape over here. The combings are all covered with masking tape. They're ready to go. In about 15 minutes I'll be able to take away all these clamps, put down the second piece, leave it slightly big. I put it down, I mark it, I leave it slightly big, I cut it slightly big, and then I just shoot it on. That's it. Okay, so the glue is set. I took away the clamps. Now I'll put PU over here. This is 8mm ply. So I'm going to put down PU. It's a fair share of area to hold. And then I'm going to shoot this on with a nail gun. Got a layer of PU going all around. Now I put the cap on, and we shoot it in place. I cut it a little bit oversized, about 2mm. And just get going. Good idea to fix it in a couple corners. I know exactly where the nail comes out of the gun. I marked it over here on the side, so I see exactly where I'm going to fire the nail in. So this, because there's only 8mm, eh? And So here's the hatches. Next thing to do is I'm gonna put fiberglass over here, and I'm gonna fill these nail gun holes with thickened epoxy. The best would be to glass the seams, but I don't know. I think I'm just gonna test it like this and see what happens. Over here things are slightly more complicated because everything's curved. I got a curve here, and then a straight here, and then a curve here. So I'll start off with making a template. There's no other way. I mean, if you don't want to waste the material that you want to use, then templates are good stuff. And I found the curves. The template fits perfect, actually perfectly on both sides. And once I got that done, then I move over to making the real thing. So the way I do it is I cut it out with a jigsaw, and I go about 1 millimeter after the line, and then there's no other way. But yeah, good old block sander, and you just sand it as you're looking down it. You look down. This one's been sanded on the inside. Now I've got the top curve to cut, but I finished the inside curve. It's perfect, it fits the boat. And you look down, and with the block sander you just go and go and go until it comes out and turns out to be a nice curve, and that's it. Here they are, my 3 hatches. And basically, after they dry on the boat, after the polyurethane dries in the corners, and I've shot it together, and the polyurethane around the top, and I've shot it over the nail gun, then I can take it off and I fill it the inside. So I don't trust polyurethane 100%, so I think that with the nails and a fillet, it's very strong, this to this. Around the corners, so I've sanded it around, and then fiberglass over here, 80 grams, 2 nails shot in from here to there, polyurethane between the two, glassed on top, and then on the other side I just run along with my thickened epoxy, and I fill up all the nail holes. It's good to wet out before, so of course I run around with my little paintbrush, and I just dab over the nail holes with clear epoxy, and then I come along with the thickened stuff and I just shove it in there. Same thing over here, fiberglass around the corners. So I believe these guys are strong. I believe this thing is so light, it's like, it's just funny. This one is now I'm gonna have to add 3 or 4 battens on the top to stiffen it, but I don't plan on standing on this thing. But anyway, I will stiffen it up a little bit, and the hatches are done, ready for just a little short, fast sand and paint. So I'm working on Akkers now. I'm going to make an I-beam. I thought about Akkers for a whole year, and I've just got to get down and do something. So that's the flange. I mean, this is the web. So this is the web, and spruce, 24 thick millimeters by 40 high. These are the flanges, and 60 spruce, 60 millimeters wide by 24 thick. 2.6 meters long is going to be the final dimensions. And now with the router, I'm going to router in a slot for the web to fit in, so it locks in there, and I have a very good strong bond because I'm going to glue it up only with PU, and I'll probably pop in a few screws from the top and from the bottom. Basically, you want to stop the movement between the layers, and then things stiffen up. So if you have a slot, there's more glue area, and that really toughens up things, whereas many people like putting in fillets on the side. I don't feel like doing fillets. So I'm just going to slot it in, and I'm making up only one aka now so I can test it and see how tough it is after the glue sets, and then decide if that's what I want to do, and then I'll just copy it or start all over. Haha. I set the layout on 4mm depth. I'll put the guide onto the side, and now I'll run it all the way. I'll move the clamps, I'll do the middle. So this one side I'm doing twice. Then I turn a piece of wood over and do it over again, and it's done. I've done I-beam before gluing up. So yeah, I'm going to pop in about 5 screws per side. I don't really need them maybe, but I just want to have them there. I don't know, overkill or not, I just don't care anymore. Make sure the fit, it's not a tight fit. There's no reason to make tight fits in wood, you know. I mean, the minute you put on glue and stuff, things swell up a little bit, it's not a problem. So here is probably about 1/2 millimeter. The slot is about 1/2 millimeter bigger than the web itself, and that's good. So you don't have to bash the thing with a hammer and try and get it in place, you know, because when you're gluing up and stuff and you want just things to just slide into place, chuck, 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 and then you clamp. Of course it's long at the moment, and then of course I choose my rubbish side, because every piece of wood has a rubbish side, and I put them all to the one end, and then with a chop saw, bang, just going to cut it to 260 when I'm finished. I'll clean off that side first, cut it to 0, make a nice square cut on that side, and then 260 on this side, and that offcut can go into the fireplace, and that's it. Glued and screwed, only one side first. In that one I ran 2 beads of polyurethane. I went on the one side almost to the edge, all the way to the end, and then I came back on the other side close to the edge. And that's why the stuff is puffing out from the sides, and I like that. That means that I got a bond down and to the sides. So that's the best bond. Basically, I've done one, and then I'll do the other one later on. After this one sets, I'll clean away the excess glue, and then I'll glue on the next one. It's impossible, I think, at least, to do them both at once. I mean, the glue works so fast, polyurethane, that it's good to do, you know, one piece at a time. Get your clamps ready, screws ready. I pre-drilled all the holes, so the screw slides in easy and pulls the web towards the flange. And yeah, I don't know, if I don't like these screws, I can always take them out later on and fill them or change them to stainless steel. There's millions of things I can do, but at the moment we just kind of working Viking style, just bare steel. Done aka. Now I have to just wait for this thing to dry up so I can take it out of the clamps and see how stiff it is. It is slightly flexible. I don't know if it's a problem or not, but I don't know, I feel it might just be okay. That little piece is hanging off the aka because I noticed that I had a slight concave after I glued in the web into the bottom piece. So now basically it was like that, so now I'm putting it the other way. So So now there's a concave going down. Now it's being put down. And afterwards, when I take off the little place, I believe it will go back to be straight. And that's what that is. So 2 finished Akkers, I-beam, construction. That thing's tough. Yesterday we put 185 kilos in the middle on the maximum span, and it's strong, it's tough as nails. Really, really strong. 2 guys, me and my friend, he's 110, I'm 75, and we were both hanging on this thing in the middle. It's not going anywhere. I'm really happy with the strength. So I'm gluing it up with PU, like you guys know, and the easiest way to get it out of there, it's very ugly stuff to sand because it doesn't like sanding. So I'm holding a camera and doing this, so that's why it's kind of a little bit awkward. But you just do one cut. You just cut it all the way, yeah, from end to end, and then with a chisel, eh? And that's what it is. And now some 60 grit paper, which is like here. Fold it over, get it down there, and just go. Probably, there it's gone. I don't know, 15-20 minutes and the whole thing's done both sides. And around off the corners now. So we have nice radiuses everywhere. The easiest way is a router and a bit with the ball bearing on the bottom. Set it on maximum so you get the whole radius. Just do it. Done. Just before I paint, so sanded corners, came out very well. I didn't cut into the fiberglass because I put thickened epoxy over the fiberglass, and nice. Now what's left is just to sand the inside fillet. Just go around quickly with 60 grit paper and paint it up with acrylic paints. But what I did do is I added on these 3 buttons on top, and they really stiffen him up so I can stand on him. It's best to stand, you know, close to the edges, not smack in the middle, but if I stand exactly in the middle, I believe that nothing will be going anywhere. Hi all, so welcome to Balkan Shipyards number 3. Basically, I'm just across the road. That's the other workshop where I work, so I was let to use this place so I can assemble the boat and get going. Anyway, basically working on Akkers now. I mean, they're done. Now I've got to paint them. Before I paint them, I want to show you all the secrets. So yeah, double T, I-beam. Dimensions are 60 millimeters by 82 high. And this is all the chalks and all the business that I've been putting on. So these chalks, basically, I hope and believe that the armor won't be able to run away because the lashings will be pulling on these chalks. So everything's glued on with polyurethane, and because I just want to make sure things stay where they are, I put in screws. That chalk prevents the armor going that way. Okay? And then here's an upside down Akka so you can see exactly what's going on. So first, these are just pieces of MBR, petrol pipe, petrol hose. They just screwed on, they'll get glued on with polyurethane glue. and 2 screws after I paint the haka. Here, this piece of NBL has been glued on with polyurethane and it works beautifully. It really holds rubber to wood nicely. I'm really happy with that. And a couple of screws to just make sure nothing moves. So yeah, NBL onto wood, polyurethane, no problems. Then these 3 guys, they basically lie on top of this, and they allow things to move a little bit, and I'm really happy with it. There's a little bit of flex, hope you can see, and I like it. I think it's good. I think flex is good. One lashing missing over there, we know that. And then here, so here, again, these guys, after paint, now I'm going to take them off all, not the wood pieces, only the rubber pieces. I'm going to take them all off, paint the thing, prime it a couple times, paint it a couple times, and then I'm putting them back with polyurethane glue. So this lies on the hull, and this comes against this wall, bulkhead, whatever. And then you got these 2 chocks, and the haka just squishes down on both sides of the hammer, and that prevents this way and that way. So basically everything's fixed. The only thing I'm slightly worried about is hammer running away that way, because nothing's really holding it except for friction. There's a lot of friction over here, and these chocks. Because for the hammer to start moving that way, it has to put on the lashings that way, and then you want the, so it's a little bit difficult. There's a lot of friction over here too. So it worked okay on the lake the other day, like a week ago, but I don't know what will happen at the sea. But yeah, we're not crossing an ocean on the first day, so we're going to take it easy with him and see how things work, and then we'll decide what we do, what we make better, what we don't do, or I don't know. Then there's this guy over here. So I don't know how important this one is. I don't think you need it really. I can't see how that lashing would go over that way. That's about 3 centimeters or 3.5 centimeters for this lashing to go that way. I think it's impossible, because you know they're pretty tight, you know. So, and I haven't really put in an effort to tighten them up, and this is tight enough, and I don't see this moving that way, so I don't think that's a problem. As for now, because all these chocks are all cut on angles, and they're all very fancy, and they're all exact according to the size of the shape of the boat, and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing, you must really put in a good effort squaring off the whole boat. The way I do it is I look for a level place on the floor, as level as can be, is good enough, and then I take measurements from bow to bow, on both sides. So then I get the 2 hulls parallel, and then I measure diagonals from that bow all the way to this bow, then a second diagonal from that bow to that bow. But you must make sure that you parallel. Even if you have diagonals, you got to make sure you parallel. You got to have parallel and diagonals. When you have that, then your 4 bows are square to each other, parallel to each other, and your boat's square. That's the way it is. Doesn't really matter center to center and all that kind of stuff. You want your bows to be parallel. And yeah, that's it, guys.